Maya Chen wiped down table 7 for the third time that evening, making sure every water spot was gone. She'd been working at the Meridian for 3 years now, and she knew the owner's standards by heart. Everything had to be perfect, especially tonight. The restaurant was hosting some big charity event, and she'd already spotted at least 2 faces she recognized from movies through the kitchen doors. At 26 years old, this wasn't exactly where Maya thought she'd be. She had a college degree sitting in a drawer back at her tiny apartment, along with a pile of student loan statements that made her stomach hurt every time she looked at them. During the day, she worked at a coffee shop near campus. At night, she was here balancing trays and forcing smiles even when her feet screamed for mercy. But there was one thing that kept her going. One secret dream she hadn't quite let go of yet. Music. Late at night, when she finally made it home on the bus, she'd pull out her phone and hum melodies into the voice recorder, little scraps of songs that came to her during quiet moments. She'd been doing this since high school, always thinking that maybe, someday, someone would hear her music and it would mean something. Tonight, though, music was the last thing on her mind. She had 8 tables in her section, and every single one was filled with people who looked like they'd never worried about money a day in their lives. The women wore dresses that probably cost more than Maya's monthly rent. The men had watches that caught the light every time they moved their wrists. Table 12 needs more champagne, her coworker Danny whispered, as he rushed past with a tray of appetizers. And they're picky about the temperature. Maya grabbed a fresh bottle from the bar and headed over. As she walked, she started humming without thinking about it. It was just something she did when she got nervous or stressed. A little melody that had been stuck in her head for the past 2 weeks, something she'd been building piece by piece during her bus rides. She didn't even realize she was doing it most of the time. The restaurant's main dining room had been transformed for tonight's gala. Usually it was elegant but understated. Tonight there were flowers everywhere, candles on every surface, and a small stage had been set up near the far wall. Maya had heard they'd hired some professional singer to perform during dinner. She wondered what that must feel like, to be paid to sing instead of being paid to bring people their food. "Excuse me, miss?" A woman at table 5 was waving her down. "Could we get some more bread?" "Of course, right away." Maya smiled and hurried toward the kitchen. In the back, the kitchen staff was in full crisis mode. Chef Rodriguez was barking orders while 3 line cooks moved like dancers around each other, somehow never colliding despite the chaos. Maya grabbed a basket of warm bread and was about to head back out when her manager, Mr. Peterson, grabbed her arm. "Maya, I need you to stay sharp tonight. We've got studio executives, directors, producers out there. One of them even said they might write about this event in some magazine. Everything has to be perfect." "I know, Mr. Peterson, I've got it under control." He looked at her for a moment, then nodded. "You're one of my best. That's why I put you on the main floor tonight instead of the private rooms." Maya felt a little flutter of pride as she headed back out. It wasn't much, but it was something. At least someone noticed she was good at her job, even if it wasn't the job she'd dreamed about. The evening moved forward like clockwork. Maya brought out plates of food that cost more than she made in a day. She refilled wine glasses and cleared away dishes and smiled until her cheeks hurt. All around her, the gala guests laughed and talked about things she could barely understand. Film deals and investment opportunities and vacation homes in places she'd only seen in pictures. But she kept humming, that same melody over and over like a thread running through the chaos of the evening. She'd started adding words to it in her head. Something about being invisible, about working hard while no one really sees you. It felt true in a way that made her chest tight. Around 8:30, the lights dimmed a little. The hired singer, a woman in a sparkly dress, stepped onto the small stage. She had a microphone and everything, along with a guy on keyboard to accompany her. Maya paused near the kitchen door to watch for just a moment. The singer was good, really good, professional, the kind of polished performance that Maya knew she could never match. That's when it happened. The singer opened her mouth to begin, but nothing came out. She tapped the microphone. Still nothing. The keyboard player hit a few notes, but no sound emerged from the speakers. Confused looks started spreading across the room. The singer tried again, her face growing red with embarrassment. Mr. Peterson appeared from nowhere, his phone already pressed to his ear. Maya could see him trying to reach someone, probably the technical crew. The event organizer, a tall woman in a black dress, rushed toward the stage with panic written all over her face. 200 guests were sitting in expensive chairs waiting for entertainment that had suddenly vanished. The silence in the room was thick and awkward. Maya could feel it pressing down on everyone. People shifted in their seats. A few started whispering to each other. Someone laughed nervously. The singer on stage looked like she wanted to disappear completely. Without thinking, Maya started her rounds again. She couldn't fix the sound system, but she could at least make sure people had full water glasses while they waited. As she moved from table to table, she hummed, louder than usual because the silence felt so heavy and wrong. Her melody filled the empty spaces between awkward coughs and whispered conversations. She didn't notice at first that people were turning to look at her. Didn't realize that her humming had become actual singing. Soft words falling from her lips about dreams and disappointment and keeping going anyway. She was just trying to do her job, trying to make the uncomfortable moment a little less painful for everyone. "Excuse me?" A man's voice cut through her concentration. Maya looked up to find herself standing next to table 12, where a man with silver hair was staring at her intently. She recognized him suddenly. He'd directed that big movie last year, the one that won all the awards. "I'm so sorry," Maya stammered, realizing she'd been singing while working. "I didn't mean to disturb anyone. What was that?" he interrupted. "What you were just singing. What song is that?" Maya's face went hot. She looked around and realized that at least a dozen people were watching her now. It's nothing. Just something I made up. I'm really sorry, I'll be quieter. You wrote that?" A woman at the next table leaned over. Maya recognized her too. She'd won a Grammy last year. Or maybe 2 Grammys. Just now? "No, I've been working on it for a while. It's not finished or anything. I'm really sorry, I should get back to work." But the director held up his hand. "Hold on a moment." He stood up and suddenly he wasn't asking her anymore. He was addressing the whole room. "Ladies and gentlemen, I think we might have found our entertainment for the evening." Maya's heart stopped. What was he talking about? She looked toward Mr. Peterson, who was staring at her with wide eyes. The event organizer was rushing over now, her panic transforming into something else. "Hope, maybe. Would you consider singing for us?" the director asked, his voice kind but firm. "Just while we wait for the technical problems to be fixed. 1 song. Whatever you'd like." Maya opened her mouth, but no words came out. This couldn't be happening. She was a waitress, not a performer. These people were important, famous, powerful. She was nobody. Just someone who brought them their food and cleaned up their messes. But they were all watching her now. Waiting. And somewhere deep inside, beneath all the fear and doubt, that old dream flickered back to life. Maya's hand started shaking so badly she had to set down her tray before she dropped it. The director was still standing, still waiting for her answer. Around him, other people were nodding, encouraging her. The Grammy winner even started clapping softly, trying to build momentum. I don't know if that's a good idea," Maya managed to say. Her voice came out squeaky and small. "I'm not really a singer. Not like a professional or anything." "We just heard you," another man spoke up. He was younger, maybe in his 30s, wearing an expensive suit. "You've got something special. Come on, help us out here. The sound system could be down for a while." Mr. Peterson appeared at her elbow. For a terrible moment, Maya thought he was going to tell her to get back to work, that this was ridiculous. But instead, he put a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Maya, if you want to do this, it's okay. We can cover your tables, but I've never—" She started, then stopped. "Never what? Never sung in front of people?" That wasn't exactly true. She'd done some small performances in high school, a few open mic nights in college before the student loans got too heavy, and she had to pick up more shifts. But nothing like this. Nothing in front of people who actually mattered in the music industry. The event organizer rushed over, practically glowing with relief. "Please," she said quietly, just for Maya to hear. "I'm desperate here. This event cost $500,000 to put together, and right now we've got nothing. Just 1 song. That's all I'm asking." Maya looked around the room. 200 faces stared back at her. Some curious, some impatient, some genuinely interested. She recognized more celebrities now that she was really looking. That actress from the superhero movies. That comedian who had his own Netflix special. That tech billionaire who was always in the news. And suddenly, Maya felt something shift inside her. Maybe it was the absurdity of the situation. Maybe it was 3 years of swallowing her dreams while serving other people theirs. Maybe it was just exhaustion making her reckless, but she heard herself say, "Okay, I'll try." The room erupted in applause. Maya felt dizzy. The event organizer grabbed her hand and practically pulled her toward the stage. Danny appeared from nowhere to take her apron. "You've got this," he whispered, giving her a quick hug. The small stage suddenly looked enormous. The professional singer had stepped aside, giving Maya an encouraging smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. The keyboard player leaned over. "Do you need accompaniment? What key are you in?" I don't know," Maya admitted. "I usually just sing without music," he nodded. "Okay, we'll do it a cappella then. You've got this." But Maya wasn't sure she had anything at all. She stood at the front of the stage, looking out at all those faces, and her mind went completely blank. What song was she supposed to sing? The melody she'd been humming suddenly seemed stupid and unfinished. Her legs felt like water. Her throat closed up tight. Someone in the back coughed. Someone else whispered something to their neighbor. Maya could feel the moment starting to curdle, could sense the room's goodwill beginning to fade. They were busy people, important people, and she was wasting their time. Then she saw Danny near the kitchen door. He caught her eye and mimed taking a deep breath, just like he did when things got crazy during the dinner rush and she felt overwhelmed. "Just breathe," he'd always say. One breath at a time. Maya closed her eyes and took a breath, then another. And with the third breath, the melody came back. Not the one she'd been humming earlier, but a different one, older, something she'd written 2 years ago during a particularly hard week when her car had broken down and her roommate had moved out and she'd had to pick up extra shifts just to cover rent. She opened her mouth and started to sing. The first few notes were shaky. She could hear the tremor in her own voice and hated it, but she kept going because what else was there to do? She sang about feeling stuck, about working so hard and getting nowhere, about dreams that felt like they were slipping away. The words came from somewhere deep and honest, and as she sang them, she stopped thinking about the audience. She stopped thinking about anything except the story she was telling. Her voice steadied, grew stronger. The melody rose and fell like waves, and Maya rode them the way she'd learned to do in her tiny apartment, singing into her phone at midnight. She forgot about her stained work shirt and her comfortable ugly shoes. Forgot about the fact that she probably smelled like the kitchen. Forgot everything except the music. When she hit the bridge, something magical happened. Her voice opened up in a way it never had before, pulling emotion from some well inside her she didn't even know existed. The room disappeared. The people disappeared. There was only the song, only the truth of it, only the feeling of finally letting something out that she'd been holding in for too long. The last note hung in the air for a moment after she finished. Maya opened her eyes slowly, almost afraid to see what she'd find. The room was dead silent. Not the awkward silence from before, but something else. Something that felt alive and electric. Then the director who'd first stopped her stood up. He started clapping, slow and deliberate. The Grammy winner joined him. Then the actress. Then the comedian. Within seconds, the entire room was on its feet, applauding so loudly that Maya could feel it vibrating through the stage floor. She stood there, stunned. This couldn't be real. People like this didn't stand up for people like her. But they were standing, and some of them were actually cheering, and a few women in the front row had tears in their eyes. "Encore," someone shouted from the back. Maya couldn't see who. "Encore," someone else echoed. Then more voices joined in until it became a chant. "Encore, encore." Encore. The event organizer bounded onto the stage, her earlier panic completely transformed into joy. "Would you sing another one?" she asked breathlessly. "Please, they love you." Maya wanted to say no, wanted to run back to the kitchen and hide, but she also wanted to stay in this moment forever, wanted to hold on to the feeling of being seen and heard and valued for the things she actually cared about. So she nodded. "I have another song," she said quietly. "It's also one I wrote." The room erupted again. Maya waited for them to settle, her heart hammering so hard she thought everyone must be able to hear it. This next song was even more personal than the first. She'd written it about her dad, who'd worked 2 jobs his whole life and died never having taken a real vacation. About all the people who gave everything and got nothing back except a paycheck that was never quite enough. She started to sing, and this time there was no shakiness at all. Her voice came out clear and strong and full of everything she'd been too afraid to say out loud. The melody was slower than the first song, more haunting, Several people in the audience pulled out their phones and Maya saw little lights as they started recording. Halfway through the song, she noticed that even the kitchen staff had come out to watch. Chef Rodriguez stood in the doorway, his usually stern face soft with something that might have been pride. The other servers gathered around him, all of them staring at her like they'd never really seen her before. The sound system came back online during her second verse. The keyboard player could have started accompanying her, but he didn't. Neither did the professional singer. Everyone seemed to understand that this moment didn't need enhancement. It just needed to be what it was. Maya sang about invisible people, about the ones who cleaned the buildings and served the food and drove the trucks and made everything work, while nobody noticed. She sang about her dad and her mom and Danny and Chef Rodriguez and everyone else who'd ever felt like they were doing important work that nobody valued. Her voice cracked on one line, but it didn't matter. It made it more real somehow. When she finished, the applause was even louder than before. People were standing again, but this time some of them were actually crying. The tech billionaire had his hand over his heart. The comedian was wiping his eyes. The actress in the front row was mouthing "thank you" over and over. Maya stood on the stage, breathing hard, feeling like she'd just run a marathon. She'd sung 2 songs. Just 2 songs, but somehow in those few minutes everything had changed. She could feel it in the air, could see it in the way people were looking at her. She wasn't just their waitress anymore. She was something else. Someone else. The director walked up to the stage and extended his hand. Maya took it and he helped her down the steps. "What's your name?" he asked. "Maya. Maya Chen." "Well, Maya Chen, do you have a manager? An agent? Anyone representing you?" Maya almost laughed. "No, I mean I work here. I'm a waitress." "Not for long," he said, and he wasn't joking. The next 30 minutes felt like some kind of fever dream. Maya tried to go back to work, to pick up her tables and return to normal, but normal didn't exist anymore. People kept stopping her, wanting to talk, wanting to tell her how much her songs had moved them. Business cards appeared in her hands like magic tricks. Everyone had something they wanted to give her, some connection they thought she should have. "Here, take my card. I run a music management company. You need to talk to my producer. He works with all the big names. My daughter runs a YouTube channel with 3 million followers. She'd love to feature you." Maya took the cards because she didn't know what else to do, stuffing them into her apron pocket until it bulged. Her hands were still shaking. Her mind couldn't quite process what had just happened. 10 minutes ago, she'd been a waitress. Now she had a dozen industry professionals telling her she could be a star. Danny found her near table 8, looking dazed. "Hey, you okay? You look like you might pass out." "I don't know what's happening," Maya whispered. "This is crazy. This isn't real." "It's real," he said, grinning. "Maya, everyone in this room is talking about you. Do you know how insane that is? These are people who meet celebrities every day and they're freaking out over you." The event organizer appeared again, this time with a man in an expensive suit. "Maya, this is Richard Torres. He's one of the event's main sponsors and he owns a record label. He'd like to talk to you." Richard shook her hand firmly. "That was incredible. Truly. I've been in this business for 25 years and I can count on one hand the number of times I've heard something that original and authentic. Do you have any recorded material?" Maya wanted to laugh. "I have some voice memos on my phone." "That's it. That's fine. We can work with that. Listen, I'd love to set up a meeting next week. Bring those voice memos. Bring anything you've written. Let's talk about what we could do together." He handed her a card, but this one felt different from the others. Heavier somehow, more real. "My personal number is on there. Call me Monday." Before Maya could respond, the Grammy winner appeared. Up close, she was even more beautiful than on TV, but she also looked kind. "I don't want to overwhelm you," she said, "but I just wanted to say that what you did up there was special. Don't let anyone change your voice, okay? The industry is going to try. They're going to want to smooth out the rough edges and make you more commercial. Don't let them. What you have is rare." "Thank you," Maya managed. "That means a lot, especially coming from you. I'm serious. I've been where you are. I know how seductive it all seems. Just remember why you write music in the first place and don't compromise on that. Here." She pressed another card into Maya's hand. "If you ever need advice, someone to talk to who's been through it, call me." The technical crew finally fixed the sound system around 9 o'clock. The professional singer was supposed to perform her full set. But when she stepped back onto the stage, she looked at Maya and made a decision. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said into the now working microphone, "I think we can all agree that tonight we've witnessed something special. I came here prepared to sing 5 songs, but honestly, after what we just heard, I don't want to break the spell. How about instead of listening to me do covers of other people's work, we hear a few more original songs from Maya?" The room erupted in applause again. Maya felt her stomach drop. "I can't," she said to the event organizer. "I've already sung twice. I should get back to work." "Please," the organizer said. "Just a couple more. Look at them. They don't want anyone else." Mr. Peterson appeared at her side. "Maya, go, seriously. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Your tables are covered. Go sing." So Maya went back up on the stage, and this time the keyboard player was ready. "What key?" he asked again. "I honestly don't know," Maya admitted. "I never learned the technical stuff. I just sing." "Okay, start singing and I'll follow you. We'll figure it out together." And that's exactly what they did. Maya sang a third song, and the keyboard player picked up the melody after the first verse, adding soft notes that enhanced without overwhelming. It worked so well that Maya felt tears prick her eyes. This was what music was supposed to feel like. Collaborative, alive, real. She sang about her mother who cleaned houses and somehow still found the energy to sing while she cooked dinner. She sang about the bus rides home when she was too tired to stand, but forced herself to stay awake to watch the city lights. She sang about hope that refused to die even when logic said it should. Between songs, she talked to the audience. Not in any planned or rehearsed way, but just honestly. She told them about writing songs on napkins during slow shifts, about recording melodies into her phone at midnight, about almost giving up 100 times but never quite being able to let go of the dream. "I used to think I was stupid for holding on," she said, her voice a little rough from singing. "Like, who was I to think I could make it in music? I'm nobody. I didn't go to music school. I don't have connections. I'm just a waitress with a phone full of half-finished songs." She paused, looking out at all those successful faces. "But tonight you all reminded me why I couldn't let go. Because music is the only thing that ever made me feel like I was enough, like I had something worth saying. So thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me this chance. It's more than I ever expected to get." The applause was deafening. Maya sang 2 more songs, making it 5 total, before the event organizer finally called time. It was past 9:30 and dinner still needed to be served. The kitchen staff had been holding everything, waiting for Maya to finish. As she finally left the stage, people mobbed her. Not aggressively, but eagerly, everyone wanting a moment of her time. The director who'd started it all stayed close, running interference when someone got too pushy. "She needs some space," he kept saying. "Let her breathe." Finally, he pulled her aside to a quiet corner. "Maya, I meant what I said earlier. You're incredibly talented, but this industry will eat you alive if you're not careful. You need representation. Someone who actually cares about you as an artist, not just as a potential moneymaker." "I don't even know where to start with that," Maya admitted. "I have a friend. She manages a small roster of artists, very selective about who she works with. She focuses on protecting their artistic vision, rather than just maximizing profit. Would you be willing to meet with her?" "Yes, God, yes. I have no idea what I'm doing," he smiled. "That's actually good. It means you haven't learned any bad habits yet. Here's what's going to happen. People are going to promise you the world. Record deals, tours, fame, money. It's going to be overwhelming. Don't sign anything until you talk to my friend, okay? And definitely don't sign anything tonight, no matter how good it sounds." A woman approached them, interrupting. She wore a designer dress and had the confidence of someone who was used to getting what she wanted. "I'm sorry to intrude, but I run a major talent agency. We'd love to represent Maya. We could have her on national television by next week. The morning show would love this story." The director gave Maya a meaningful look. "See? It's already starting." Maya's phone started buzzing in her pocket. She pulled it out and saw text after text coming in. Friends from college who'd seen videos of her performance online. Her mother calling. Her roommate freaking out. Random numbers she didn't recognize. "What's happening?" she asked, staring at her phone. Danny appeared with his own phone. "Maya, you need to see this. Someone posted a video of you singing and it's going viral. Like really viral. It's already got over 1 million views and it was only posted 20 minutes ago." He showed her the screen. There she was on that small stage singing her heart out. The video quality wasn't great, shot from someone's phone, but you could hear every word clearly. You could see the emotion on her face. The comments were flooding in faster than she could read them. Who is she? This is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I'm literally crying. Someone sign this girl immediately. This is what real talent looks like. Maya felt like the floor was tilting under her feet. This can't be happening. People don't get discovered anymore, not like this. Apparently they do, Danny said, still scrolling through comments. Maya, you've got like 5 different hashtags trending. Someone started calling you the singing waitress and it's everywhere. The event organizer rushed over, phone pressed to her ear. Maya, I have 3 different news stations asking if they can interview you. What should I tell them? I don't know. This is too much. The director took her arm gently. Let's get you somewhere quiet. You need a minute to process this. He led her toward Mr. Peterson's office, away from the crowd. Behind them, Maya could hear people still talking about her, still watching videos on their phones, still trying to figure out who she was and where she'd come from. In the office, with the door closed, Maya finally let herself feel it all. The shock, the joy, the terror, the impossible, incredible reality that in the span of an hour, her entire life had completely changed. She'd gone from invisible to unavoidable, from nobody to somebody that everybody wanted a piece of. And the scariest part? She had no idea if she was ready for any of it. Maya woke up the next morning convinced it had all been a dream. Then she reached for her phone and saw 473 notifications. Her heart started pounding before she was even fully awake. The video from last night had exploded overnight. 5 million views now, then 7 million. The number kept climbing as she watched. Entertainment websites had picked up the story. Mystery waitress stuns Hollywood elite. Viral sensation, the singing waitress who stopped a charity gala. Unknown singer brings A-list crowd to tears. Her phone rang. Her mother. Maya answered, and immediately her mom started crying. Mia, I saw the video. Everyone sent it to me. I can't believe it. I always knew you were talented, but this, the whole world is seeing what I always saw. Mom, I don't know what to do. This is crazy. You do what you've always done. You stay yourself. You work hard, and you don't let anyone tell you who you should be. After she hung up, Maya tried to go through her messages. Friends from high school she hadn't talked to in years. Her college roommate. People she'd worked with at her coffee shop job. Everyone had seen the video. Everyone was freaking out. Then she saw a text from a number she didn't recognize. Hi, Maya, this is Jennifer Lee. I'm the manager David mentioned last night. He said you might be interested in meeting. I'd love to talk. No pressure, just a conversation. David, the director. Maya remembered him pulling her aside, warning her about the industry. She texted back. Yes, I'd like that. When? The response came immediately. How about today? I know it's Saturday, but things are moving fast. Better to get ahead of it. Coffee at 2? Maya agreed, and Jennifer sent an address for a cafe in Santa Monica. Then Maya looked at the pile of business cards on her nightstand. She'd counted them before bed. 47 cards. 47 people who wanted something from her. Her phone rang again. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Is this Maya Chen? The singer from last night? A man's voice, professional and smooth. Yes? My name is Robert Klein. I'm a producer at Morning Live, the national morning show. We'd love to have you on the show Monday morning. We could send a car to pick you up, do your hair and makeup, the whole thing. We're thinking a live performance and a short interview. What do you say? Maya's hands started shaking again. Can I think about it? I need to talk to some people. Of course, but I need to know by tonight. This story is hot right now, but news cycles move fast. Strike while the iron is hot, you know? After she hung up, Maya sat on her bed and tried to breathe. This was everything she'd ever wanted, wasn't it? People paying attention to her music. Opportunities opening up. So why did she feel like she was drowning? She called Danny. I don't know what to do. Everyone wants something from me and I don't know who to trust. Meet with that manager David recommended, Danny said. He seemed like he actually cared about you as a person, not just as a viral video. Start there. The cafe where Maya met Jennifer was quiet and tucked away from the main street. Jennifer was in her 40s, dressed casually in jeans and a nice blouse. She didn't look like someone from Hollywood. She looked like someone's cool aunt. Thanks for meeting me, Jennifer said as they sat down with their coffee. I'm sure you're overwhelmed right now. That's putting it mildly. Here's the thing, Maya. What happened to you last night is incredibly rare. You went viral in the best possible way, in front of people who actually have the power to help your career. But that also means you're about to get a lot of offers, and most of them are going to sound amazing. I'm here to help you figure out which ones are real and which ones are just people trying to make money off your moment. David said you focus on protecting artists. I do. I only work with 5 clients at a time. I turn down way more people than I accept, not because they're not talented, but because I can't give everyone the attention they deserve. I only take on artists whose work I genuinely believe in and who I think I can actually help. And you think you can help me? Jennifer leaned forward. I watched that video a dozen times last night. You have something special, Maya. Not just talent, though you have that, but authenticity. People are so hungry for something real, and that's what you gave them. My job would be to protect that while helping you build a sustainable career. What does that actually mean, though? It means I'd help you navigate all the offers coming your way. I'd introduce you to the right people. I'd make sure you don't sign any contracts that screw you over. And most importantly, I'd make sure you don't lose yourself in the process. This industry will try to change you. They'll want to package you, smooth out your rough edges, make you more commercial. My job is to push back on that. Maya felt something loosen in her chest. This was the first person who'd talked to her like she was a human being instead of a product. I have 47 business cards from last night, Maya said. How do I know which ones matter? Jennifer smiled. Let me see them. Maya pulled out the stack. Jennifer went through them one by one, making 2 piles. Good and avoid. The avoid pile was much bigger. This guy, Jennifer pointed to one card, will promise you the world and deliver nothing. This woman runs a management company that churns through clients like tissues. This producer has a reputation for taking advantage of new artists. This one is fine, but they focus on pop music and that's not your style. How do you know all this? I've been in the industry for 20 years. I know who the good people are and who the sharks are. Speaking of which, have you gotten any calls about television appearances? Maya told her about Morning Live. Jennifer nodded. They'll want to do it fast before another show gets you. And normally I'd say yes, strike while you're hot. But here's the problem. You're not ready. What do you mean? You don't have professional recordings. You don't have a clear story about who you are as an artist. You don't even have decent photos. If you go on national television right now, you'll be the viral waitress. That'll be your identity forever. Is that what you want? Maya thought about it. No, I want to be a musician who happened to have a viral moment, not a viral moment who happens to sing. Exactly. So here's what I propose. We turn down Morning Live for now. We take a week to get you ready. We record a few professional tracks. We do a real photo shoot. We craft your story. Then we do press, but on our terms. Make them wait for you instead of you chasing them. Won't the story die by then? Maybe the viral part will cool down a bit. But the right story told well has staying power. And trust me, people will still care. That video isn't going anywhere. 5 million people have seen you sing. That's not nothing. Maya took a sip of her coffee, thinking. This went against every instinct she had. The opportunity was here now. Shouldn't she grab it? I can see you struggling with this, Jennifer said. And I get it. You've been waiting for a chance like this for years, but Maya, you're talented enough that you don't need to rush. We can do this right. Okay, Maya said finally. Let's do it right. They talked for another hour. Jennifer explained how the business worked, what to expect, what to watch out for. She didn't sugarcoat anything. She told Maya about artists who'd made it and artists who'd burned out, about the difference between fame and a career, about the importance of keeping the people who loved you before anyone knew your name. When Maya finally left the cafe, she had a plan. And more importantly, she had someone in her corner who seemed to actually care about her success beyond just the financial aspect. But when she got home, she found her roommate Keisha packing boxes. What's going on? Maya asked. I'm moving out, Keisha said, not meeting her eyes. My boyfriend asked me to move in with him. Oh, okay, when? End of the month. Something felt off about Keisha's tone. They'd been friends for 2 years. Good friends, but now Keisha was barely looking at her. Are you okay? Maya asked. You seem upset. Keisha finally turned to face her. Look, I'm happy for you. Really, but also, it's weird, okay? Yesterday we were equals. Both struggling, both working crap jobs. Now you're all over the internet and everyone wants a piece of you. It's a lot to process. Maya felt something crack inside her. She hadn't thought about this part. How her change would affect the people around her. How success could feel like abandonment to the people who'd been there during the struggle. I'm still me, Maya said quietly. Nothing's really changed. Everything's changed, Keisha said. And that's fine. It's great. But don't pretend it hasn't. That night, Maya lay in bed scrolling through social media. The comments on her video were mostly positive, but there were negative ones too. She's not that good. Auto-tune could fix that voice. She's only famous because she's a waitress. The story is better than the singing. Give it a month and everyone will forget about her. Maya closed the app but couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Keisha's face, about the distance that had suddenly appeared between them, about all the people calling and texting who hadn't cared about her music before it went viral. Her phone lit up with another text. Danny. Hey, I know you're probably overwhelmed. Just wanted to say I'm proud of you. Also, if you need someone to just hang out and watch TV and not talk about your career, I'm here. Maya smiled for the first time in hours. At least some people were still just people. Not seeing her as a viral sensation or a meal ticket. Just seeing her as Maya, she texted back. Tomorrow? Pizza and bad movies? Already got the pizza place on speed dial. Maya set down her phone and stared at the ceiling. Her life had changed completely in 24 hours. But she was starting to understand that the real challenge wasn't going to be getting famous. It was going to be staying human while everyone else treated her like she was something else entirely. 3 months later, Maya stood in a professional recording studio in Burbank, wearing headphones that cost more than her old monthly rent. Through the glass, she could see the Grammy-winning producer from the gala, the one who'd told her not to lose herself. His name was Carlos, and he'd agreed to work on her debut EP after hearing the rough recordings Jennifer had sent him. Let's try it again from the top, Carlos said through her headphones. But this time forget you're in a studio. Sing it like you did in that restaurant, raw, honest. Don't try to be perfect. Maya closed her eyes and thought about that night. How terrified she'd been. How the fear had actually made her more honest because she'd had nothing to lose. She'd forgotten that somewhere in the last 3 months, gotten caught up in trying to sound professional instead of just sounding like herself. She sang the melody again, and this time she didn't think about technique or pitch or any of the things the vocal coach Jennifer had hired kept talking about. She just felt the song and let it out. When she finished, Carlos was grinning. That's it. That's the one. You hear the difference? Maya did. She sounded like herself again instead of trying to sound like what she thought a professional singer should sound like. The past 3 months had been the strangest of her life. Jennifer had been right about taking time to prepare. They'd turned down morning live, and at first Maya had been terrified it was a mistake. But Jennifer knew what she was doing. They'd used that week to record proper versions of Maya's songs. Not in some big fancy studio, but in a small space that Jennifer's friend owned, where Maya could feel comfortable and authentic. They'd done a photo shoot, but not the glamorous kind Maya had imagined. The photographer had taken pictures of her on the bus in her old apartment, at the Meridian in her work uniform. Your story is your strength, Jennifer kept saying. Don't run from where you came from. Own it. When they finally did press, it was on their terms. Not a quick morning show hit, but a long-form interview with a podcast known for deep conversations with artists. Maya talked about writing songs on napkins, about her parents' immigrant journey, about almost giving up. The episode went viral in its own right, with people commenting on how refreshing it was to hear an artist be so honest about struggle. The Meridian had become a tourist attraction. People came hoping to be served by the viral singing waitress, not knowing she didn't work there anymore. Mr. Peterson had been understanding when she'd given her notice. You were always too talented for this place, he'd said. Go be the artist you were meant to be. But Maya had one condition before she left. She'd asked Mr. Peterson to give Danny a promotion and a raise. Danny had been there for her when she was nobody, and she wasn't going to forget that now that she was somebody. The recording sessions had been hard in ways Maya hadn't expected. Carlos pushed her constantly, making her do take after take, not because she was bad, but because he knew she could be great. You have something special, he'd tell her during breaks. But special isn't enough. You need to be skilled too. The two together? That's when magic happens. Maya learned about music theory, about how to use her voice as an instrument, about the technical side of recording. But Carlos always brought her back to authenticity. Learn the rules so you can break them intentionally, he said. But never lose that thing that made you special in the first place. Now they were finishing up the EP. 5 songs, all originals. Jennifer had gotten interest from several major labels, but she'd pushed back. Let's release this independently first, she'd said. Keep control. Show them what you can do. Then we negotiate from a position of strength. That evening, Maya got a call from David, the director who'd started it all. I'm putting together another charity event, he said. 3 months almost to the day from when we met. And I'd like you to be the entertainment, not as an accident this time, as the actual scheduled performer. Maya felt her throat get tight. I'd love that. There's one more thing. I'd like to pay you the same fee we paid the original singer, $15,000. Plus, I thought we could hire some of your former co-workers from the Meridian to work the event, if you're interested. Maya felt tears in her eyes. David, that's... Thank you. Thank me by putting on a great show. Oh, and Maya? This time the sound system will definitely work. She laughed. Good to know. The next few weeks flew by in preparation. Maya rehearsed constantly, but this time with a band. Carlos had helped her put together a small group of musicians who understood her aesthetic. They didn't overpower her voice, just supported it, gave it depth and texture. Jennifer helped her pick out an outfit for the performance. Nothing too fancy, nothing that made her look like someone she wasn't. A simple dress, elegant but not overdone. You're not trying to look like a pop star, Jennifer said. You're trying to look like yourself on your best day. The night of the event, Maya arrived early. She'd insisted on it because she wanted to talk to the servers before the show started. Danny was there, along with 3 other people she'd worked with at the Meridian. They were getting paid triple their normal rate, just like Maya had requested. Look at you, Danny said, pulling her into a hug. An actual performer now, not just someone accidentally singing between tables. I'm terrified, Maya admitted. Last time was adrenaline. This time I have expectations to meet. You'll be amazing. You know why? Because you're still you. That hasn't changed. But some things had changed. Maya now had a social media following of over 2 million people. She had fans who'd never heard her sing in person, but felt connected to her story. She had pressure to deliver, to prove that viral moment wasn't just luck. As the guests filed in, Maya peeked out from backstage. She recognized some faces from last time. The Grammy winner gave her a wave. But there were also new faces. People who'd heard about her and wanted to see what the fuss was about. Music journalists with notepads. Industry executives evaluating whether she was the real deal or just a flash in the pan. Jennifer found her backstage. You look like you're about to throw up. I might. That's okay. Fear means you care. Just remember, you've already proven yourself. Tonight isn't about proving anything. It's about sharing your gift. The event organizer, the same woman from before, introduced Maya. 3 months ago, we had a technical difficulty that turned into the most magical moment I've ever experienced at one of our events. Tonight, by design rather than accident, please welcome Maya Chen. Maya walked onto the stage and the applause was immediate and warm. She took her position at the microphone, her band behind her, and looked out at the crowd. For a moment she felt that same terror from 3 months ago. Then she saw Danny near the kitchen door giving her a thumbs up. She saw her mother in the 3rd row crying already. She saw Jennifer in the back, calm and confident. 3 months ago, Maya said into the microphone, I stood on a stage sort of like this one, absolutely terrified, and sang for people who didn't expect to hear from someone like me. Tonight I'm still terrified, but now I understand something I didn't then. Music isn't about being perfect or polished. It's about connection. It's about truth. So I'm going to sing some songs I wrote, and I hope they mean something to you the way they mean something to me. She nodded to her band, and they started the first song. It was one from her EP, a piece about transformation and learning that success doesn't mean leaving your past behind. Her voice was stronger now, more controlled, but it still had that quality that had stopped people in their tracks 3 months ago. That rawness, that honesty. The crowd was silent as she sang, but it wasn't an uncomfortable silence. It was the silence of people truly listening. When she finished, the applause was thunderous. She sang 4 more songs from her EP, including the 2 she'd sung that first night. Each one landed exactly as it should. Between songs, she told stories. About writing music on napkins. About the night everything changed. About the people who'd helped her along the way. She thanked Jennifer and David by name. She thanked Carlos for teaching her craft without destroying her authenticity. She thanked her mother for working so hard that Maya never had to worry about anything except dreams. For her last song, Maya did something unplanned. "This is a new one," she said. "I wrote it last week and I haven't even recorded it yet. But it felt like the right moment to share it. It's called Visible." She sang about the journey from invisibility to being seen. About the cost and the gift of it. About the responsibility that comes with having a platform. About not forgetting the people still waiting tables, still taking buses home, still dreaming of their own impossible moments. Her voice cracked on one line, just like it had 3 months ago, and she didn't try to hide it. The imperfection made it more real. When she finished, there was a moment of complete silence, and then the entire room stood. Not just polite applause, but genuine emotion. Several people were openly crying. Maya stood on that stage, looking out at faces that were no longer strangers, and felt something settle inside her. This was real. She'd made it real by refusing to let the industry change who she was, by holding on to the truth of her experience even when people wanted her to sand down the edges. After the show, people lined up to talk to her. But this time it felt different. They weren't trying to use her. They were genuinely moved by what she'd shared. The Grammy winner hugged her and whispered, "You did it. You kept your voice." Richard Torres, the record label owner from 3 months ago, approached with a smile. "I wanted to make you an offer that night. Jennifer said you weren't ready. She was right, but now I think we should talk. No pressure, just a conversation about what a partnership might look like." Jennifer appeared at Maya's elbow. "We'll set up a meeting. But Richard, you should know, Maya's not interested in being changed or packaged. If that's a problem, let's not waste each other's time." "That's exactly why I want to work with her," Richard said. "The industry needs more artists who know who they are." Later that night, Maya sat in the restaurant's back office with Danny's girlfriend, her mother, and Jennifer. They'd ordered pizza because fancy catering felt wrong. They were laughing about something silly when Maya's phone buzzed. It was a text from Keisha, her old roommate. They hadn't talked much since Keisha moved out. "Hey, I saw videos from tonight. You were amazing. I'm sorry I was weird about everything. I was dealing with my own stuff and took it out on you. Miss you." Maya texted back immediately. "Miss you too. Coffee this week?" "I'd love that." Maya looked around the room at the people who'd stuck with her, who'd helped her navigate this impossible journey. Her mother, who'd always believed. Danny, who'd been a true friend when she had nothing to offer. Jennifer, who'd protected her when she was vulnerable. "What are you thinking about?" Jennifer asked. "Just that I got really lucky, not just with the viral video, but with finding people who actually care about me as a person." "The video was luck," Jennifer said. "But keeping your head on straight, working hard, staying authentic, that was all you." A month later, Maya's EP dropped independently. Jennifer had worked with a small distributor who specialized in artist-owned releases. The first single hit number 15 on the alternative charts. Not massive pop success, but solid for an independent release from an unknown artist.